All right, we're here at just a museum of Chinese history in Xi'an, and tomorrow we'll actually be going to the site where they have hundreds of these. But these are some of the terracotta warriors and their horses that were buried with the Emperor Qin, the first man to really unify kind of the different tribes and states of China. He was a really brutal emperor. He was pretty much a horrible person, but he did unify China. So in some ways he's like the Julius Caesar. But these are just amazing. They're just all individuals, very human expressions on their faces. They think even humans, model for these, and it's just fabulous. Just their how they have slightly different shoes and different poses, and different parts on their clothing. It's really special.
We are at the site of the Shan incident, which has to do with Chiang Kai-shek and the nationalists and the communists. If we remember right, then it is the actual place where Chiang wanted to not fight the Japanese, he wanted to fight only the Chinese communists, and his own men arrested him and said, you have to fight the Japanese before you fight the communists. So he was forced into an alliance with the communists against the Japanese during World War II, and this is where it took place. They have a bullet hole here, which is pretty cool, and here's the room, I suppose, where they forced him to sign an agreement with them. So.
And this is also actually the site of these hot springs that have been like the playground of emperors for several dynasties before all this kind of stuff.
You can see it pretty much resembles the world's largest Benihana. It's what Walmart is to 7-Eleven. This place is to
most chicken teriyaki.
Most Chinese restaurants. We're going to go try the chicken. Nearly all the sites that we visited, you see something like these two sentences at the end here, which basically says that the Communist Party chose to honor this site so that they can help educate the people. It says here, it's become a tourist attraction for revolutionary education, so it helps educate people in communist values by coming here so they can learn about the roots of the Communist Party and things. Well, we're standing on a burial mound for the first emperor of China. He died around 210 BC, and if you think the pyramids in Egypt are big, this tomb actually goes all the way to the army of terracotta warriors, which is almost a full mile away from here. So from the terracotta warriors all the way to here is probably his tomb. Now I say probably because the terracotta warriors much of them have been excavated, but this actual tomb has not been excavated. It is believed that underneath where we're standing, which if you can see these stairs,
there's a long
one on top of basically a small mountain, and underneath this is buried his tomb, and they believe that he's in a throne on a pool of mercury, and that in the ceiling's painted blue, and there's jewels in the ceiling to represent the sky with stars and things. They haven't dug it up yet, though, and so they're not sure what's underneath that yet. Part of the reason they haven't dug it up is it's a whole mile to what they have dug up, and they didn't even discover the terracotta warriors until the 70s. So it's only been about 30 years since they discovered those. Archaeology is a very slow process. So to get the whole mile here, they want to dig up everything all the way to here. Plus, once they dig this up, kind of the cat's out of the bag, and there may be nothing there. And if there's nothing there, it's going to be hard for archaeologists to get funding for digging over there. Plus, it's kind of like a carrot with a donkey with a carrot. People keep wanting to come and see, people keep wanting to give money and so on, because eventually they're hoping they're going to be opening this tomb. But it could be decades before this tomb's actually open. For now, it's a really big hill with a lot of stairs. And you can also see behind us the legendary Chinese pollution.
The smokestack over here. It seems like everywhere we go, we see smokestacks.
Yeah, you can taste the pollution in the air. It kind of reminds me of when we have fires in LA. You can kind of taste it in your mouth. It's pretty crazy. My asthma hasn't been bad or anything like that, but it's definitely polluted. You can't see. There's huge mountains on the other side of us. You can barely see them. And it's been like that most of the days.
We're finally here at the Terracotta Warriors. We're in the medium-sized pit, and you can see they're in the midst of digging these up. You can still see the men and horses, these figures broken in the ground here. I don't know how well we can make it out on the camera, but this is just, this is staggering. This blows anything I've seen anywhere out of the water. They found about 7,000 of these soldiers. They've digged about 7,000 of them up already. But we have no idea how many are still kind of laying around waiting to be dug up, and what else is underground. This is amazing, and just a testament, just the vastness and the expanse and the amazingness of Chinese culture and how far back it goes, and just knows no bounds. It's really wonderful.
What's crazy is if you see through the camera, they were almost all destroyed very shortly after they were built. So if you look down, you can see heads and arms and pieces. There's maybe half of one over there that's standing up. But so far, we haven't even, in the pit, we haven't even seen one full standing warrior. They're still reassembling them. So they were all destroyed about 10 years after the tomb was built. So thousands of years ago, they were destroyed, and they're just now being rebuilt.
And one fun note, this was discovered by this Chinese farmer, somewhat in the same way the Dead Sea Scrolls were found out. This farmer was digging for a well and eventually found the head of one of these guys. And we actually got our picture taken with that farmer. He now runs a very nice little gift shop, and he had this picture taken with Bill Clinton. We saw that on the wall, so that was a lot of fun, and that's going to be a great.
When it's on.
It's on.
This is the big tomb. This is the main chamber. Earlier we were in the medium-sized chamber. This is the big one. It's over twice the size of a football field. It's really, really big. And there's a lot of terracotta soldiers here. Okay, so we're on our way out. And in Egypt, as you leave the pyramids and pass the Sphinx, there is a KFC. And in China, as you pass the terracotta warriors,
KFC.
Okay, well, we have come to a tomb of a very different emperor, of a different dynasty, approximately 100 years after the reign of the famous terracotta tomb. This is the much less famous, and if you can see behind me, significantly smaller, whereas the earlier terracotta tomb was life-size. These are maybe 1/8 size. So he either had less money or was less ostentatious or wasn't just concerned about the afterlife. But these are a lot smaller.
Well, we're here at the excavation site of this same Han Emperor, and like the terracotta warriors, it's huge pits with thousands of little tiny soldiers, but these are much more kind of humble in everyday life. There are lots of little pigs and cows, and here's a reproduction of what they look like. They were actually dressed in silks, and they were painted like little dolls, except thousands of them in this guy's tomb. This is really, again, something else. It's just too much to take in. Well, this is just totally charming. These are little dogs and sheep and horses, and they have I saw like a whole army of little pigs. It's just like with miniatures in this tomb. It's in its own way just as amazing as the vastness of the terracotta army. It's just incredible.